Okay, I think we're in. Let me test the stream chat. Let's have a look. Connection should be good. Lazy Crow, first one in. Hey mate, how's it going? You'll be especially happy today, as we'll be drawing some crows. Well, some corvids in general. Sidan, 2 minutes late, disappointing. Sorry. 2 minutes. I had a little panic moment where I thought that I thought I was using the wrong microphone last time, so I just had to double check my some of my settings. But no excuse. I should have been more prepared. But hello, Sidan. Hello, Crow. How are you guys doing? Have you had a good week? Have you been busy? Just check across all the platforms. See if everything is up and working. So it should be on Kick. Looks good. Should be on Twitch. Looks good. Okay, all good. Nice. Also, let's go, Corvids, yeah. So today we're going to be working on some Corvid pictures. I'll show you this one just to start. This is one of the preliminary thumbnails that I've done to kind of prepare for this animation that I want to do in Procreate Dreams, which is like their dream software. So I use Procreate to draw on my iPad, but I'm going to start using Procreate Dreams hopefully to do some more sophisticated animations. So this is an image I'm working on. We've got a big scary rook crow monster. So hopefully we're going to be doing a few more crows and a few little cute jackdaw monks that are going to be feeding this big crow some giant cows. So well, technically this is a spoilers, I guess. This is a corvid dragon, the one that was kind of talked about in the giant video, who is locked away underneath the castle of York, and has turned into a troll, and is only kept alive by his like loyal followers, who feed him giant cows every other day. So there should be some little bit, mostly character sketches today, but we might try some animation as well. Sidan, I just made a graph for genetic purity in the UCP. That sounds right. And one for military ranking. I'm productive in math, so for some reason. Interesting. Sounds like your world, Sidan, is very complicated in a good way, I would say. Frederick, hi. Thanks for joining us, mate. Good to have you here. Lazy Crow, I would know of the barter with a draconic crow with shiny stuff. So that was the whole premise for this corvid dragon, is that would be essentially a big, non-distinct corvid monster that was obsessed with stuff. And so he's going to live in a vault that's full of pre-tech and shiny treasure. But his worshippers are all corvids. But he's turned into a troll, so now he doesn't really care about the shiny stuff, but they bring him shiny stuff anyway. He just cares about eating, and so they have to bring him giant cows to keep him fed. I just realised that is it working? Where's my multi-stream's not working. Multi-stream chat. Let's have a look. Everything connected? Streamer bot, Twitch, Kick. Oh. Why is... One second, my YouTube is not connected. Platforms, YouTube. Okay, there we go. So that should work now. Is that working? Okay, that should be working now. So you should start seeing the YouTube comments pop up. We just had that kick comment. Let's get rid of that. So yeah, should be good. Throndix, thanks for joining us, mate. Appreciate you being here. Hi, how's my favourite art community doing? Good to have you here, mate. Just talking about today's stream. I'm going to be doing... just getting rid of that comment. There we go, it's gone. We're just talking about the monster we're doing today. A big corvid dragon, essentially. So it should be a pretty cool one, hopefully. Laser Crow, wait, dragons can turn to trolls? I thought the transformation end results are dragons or trolls. Bum, bum, bum. So this is going to be like the first kind of real instance of a dragon troll. So it's very unusual, but it's the same kind of result that would happen if someone turned into a fae and then turned into a troll, or someone turned into a giant and then turned into a troll. So dragons can undergo that. So this is going to be a bit of a reveal that everything can turn into a troll, and the transformation essentially never is finished at whatever it is. So surprisingly simple. You don't need to know all the stuff, but this is a world building Discord, so I show world building and not writing for the most part. Yeah, I agree. I think having snippets of your world is I think the best way to do it. Essentially, I think it makes it like extremely interesting to be able to just show small parts of it, which is what I try to do with some of the videos. Oh, what did you guys think of the Weird Folk video that came out? The title was a bit weird, but if I'm honest, I was going for a bit of like a SEO title, crab racism. I thought people would scroll past and see that and maybe click on it, but I guess it is kind of accurate to the world. But yeah, it was quite a fun one to draw images for, and a lot of those images were actually the ones we did in the live stream. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Finally managing to get that done. It's like everything is evolving into a crab, but everything, the ultimate evolution is not crab, it is troll. Exactly. Right. So today, what we're going to be doing is drawing some character sketches. We're going to draw essentially two little monks, and this is very much going to be like concept art-y style, just to help me with my animations. So we're going to do a full turnaround of some little jackdaws, and the jackdaws are going to be feeding this big monster. So let's move this over here. In fact, sorry, I'm just moving this stuff around on my screen so I can have some good reference images. Let's do that on half the screen. Oops. Okay. Nice. Okay, cool. So yeah, we can do some little jackdaw dudes in big robes. In fact, I'll just do some skeletons to start. These are going to be little chunky guys like the frogs, because they're supposed to be kind of cute in contrast to the big horrible dragon they serve. Laser Crow, does this mean a dragon can undergo a giant transformation, but not possible because of the amount of calories needed to support this size? Good question. I would say in terms of evolution, the way that I've always considered it is that you have kind of a direction you take with mutations. So for example, you'd have like rabbit, and then rabbit could go to Fae. or it could go to giant, or it could go to troll. And then Fey could potentially go it could also go to dragon. But Fey can go to dragon, and giant can go to dragon. But giant can go to troll, and Fey can go to troll, and dragon can go to troll. Not the best explanation, but so essentially, let's do it with a bit of a clearer way. So essentially, there could be like a full kind of turnaround like that, for example, and that would work. Or like that, or like that to that to that, or yeah, like that straight across. So it's not very clear, but yeah, essentially it's possible to always turn into a troll, and that's essentially this. Like one of the philosophers in the world presumes it's just how people feel, and their desire to have more kind of forces them to change. But in terms of the reality, it's just this constant evolution that's happening, which is causing like the trees to get bigger all the time, and animals to change and everything like that. So yeah. I just watched it actually right before coming on here. I really like the little cliffhanger hint to drone things. Yeah. Hey, Death Prince of Bel-Air. Thanks for joining us, mate. Yeah, I wanted to do a little hint at that. I've drawn a few sketches actually for, I wouldn't say a bunch, I think it's like a couple sketches for these essentially like androids, or these like sentient drones that kind of live away from the ruins, and they have their own lives. And it was a big aspect of the TTRPG that I'm hopefully going to be developing. And essentially they are just these drones who just have their own lives, and they just live apart of society. Well, a part of society, but apart from society, because if someone sees a drone, they're going to attack it, even if it's if it's sentient or not. They're going to attack it because drones in this world are pretty dangerous. So Fey can't go into a giant. I haven't really explored the concept much, because humans can go into giants, can evolve into giants, but I haven't really explored the concept of a Fey transforming into a giant. I suppose they probably could. It's definitely something I could consider. I think it could be a cool way to. I'm gonna cheat here. Look. In fact, that would be a better way of doing it. I'm going to start again here. If I just I'll do a little cheat here, do drawing guide, do symmetry. There you go. This should make things a bit easier. So yeah, I guess maybe a Fey could turn into a giant. I need to explore the idea a little bit more, but the main thing is that humans can also be giants. That was the most important part, and then giants can turn into trolls. So yeah, these guys are going to be very tiny but big heads, and then big robes. And yeah, like I said, the kind of there's gonna be a bit of a juxtaposition here, hopefully, where you have these kind of cute little birds serving this big giant troll beastie. So everything, if given enough time, eventually becomes a troll. I wouldn't say they eventually become a troll, but they could. There's always that percentage. It's like imagine like every day you wake up and you roll, a percentile dice, and there's like a 1% chance of you becoming a troll, maybe less than that. So like a D1000, and there's like if you roll a 1 to 10 on a D1000, you become a troll. But you do that every single day, and so if you die of old age, maybe it never happens, or if you die young, it never happens. But if you if you live long enough, there is that like potential chance, but it's very small. I would say maybe just even if it's like a D1000, it might be, you know, one in 10,000 people maybe in terms of like humans and Fae. But I would say for dragons, it's probably less likely. And for Fae and for giants, yeah, I would say, you know, there's not a, I haven't really done the maths yet for it all, but sorry, I'm kind of working on this whilst thinking at the same time. I've got some references for these jackdaws, so I'll start to do a little jackdaw face. Got a little beak. Bit of a skinnier face as well. They're not so chubby. So I'm doing these little jackdaws as the priests for this this dragon. I want to do jackdaws because they've got a very cheeky face, and I want them during the animation. I want the guy who's essentially feeding the giant to look very scared. So I think they've got such an emotive face. I think they'd be the perfect kind of corvid to be, yeah, a bit freaked out. I'm gonna shrink his head a little bit. There we go. Maybe do thumbs. Might get some character references. Use Zelda. Use Zelda. I use Link as a character reference. What game is it where he's like very tiny? Like cartoon Link from Smash Bros. Sorry, I've been missing these comments. Bard, the crow is cheating. He's manipulating the stream system. The competition continues. I stand back. I can't. I'm not part of this competition. I'd say this is a battle between you two. I appreciate the competition though. Right, I'm going to use Cartoon Link as a reference here. He's got kind of a bit longer arms, a bit closer to his body. There we go. So I'm an instant crow. Frederick, I just want my big fur ladies, you know. What would be a big fur lady? Like mammals. This could be a good way to look at it. I'm sad and therefore I'm never wrong. Therefore you are wrong. But I love the shark drawing in the Weird Folk video. Thank you. Yeah, I think we did that one on stream, I think. That was a good, I was quite happy with that one. And I was, one thing I was happy with that image is that it had obviously some world building aspect to it as well, because she has a Church of the Deep hat on, so I thought that'd be a cool little like religious iconography for the thing. Hey, I've just noticed that why is this so wonky? Can I change that? Scale. Area. 1 second. Sorry, I've just realised that the thingy's not working. How do I change this? Sorry about this. It doesn't look very good, does it? Enable preview before scaling canvas. Oops. No. Here you go. This is why you don't mess with the screen while streaming. Sorry. Let me see if I can. Change it. Edit, transform. Size. I can't change it. Sorry, I'm not sure what's happening here with the view. I'm using OBS, but I'm not sure why it's not working properly. Center screen, stretch the screen. Oh no, that's too stretched. Okay. It's my professional streaming here. Why is it not working? Window. Yeah, sorry about that. I'll fix that in a second. So cheating is too much work. Spite moves men to drastic actions. I don't remember Sidon throwing rocks at crows, making them spiteful. You know what? This is official canon. Sidon hates crows. I like this competition. The shark's eyes were nice. Corvus don't deserve something, mermaid. Yeah, she's got cute eyes, doesn't he? This shark. I mean, they could be scaly, feathered, or even bald, really. I like my anthro with it. Do you know, no one's really brought up the anthro thing. It's not intentional. Do you know? Nothing against that community. But I would say, yeah, it's not intentional doing this. Scale to height of bounds. Scale to outer bounds. Stretch to bounds. No. No bounds. Scale to width of bounds. Oh gosh. I don't know why this is not working. That's strange. So I'll try one more thing and then I'll just start drawing. I think it's not really working very well. Okay, that'll do. All right, we'll fix it later. I'll fix it off stream. It's not really a problem, is it? Okay, right. Okie dokie. Orca Raiders. Yeah, definitely. I still think about doing some what do you call them? It's like whales and dolphins and things like that. But again, I need to consider how they're going to be, how they can kind of transform, and how they would look when transformed. Like I said, I'm kind of copying Link from Smash Bros here. It's gonna have like a low belt. Maybe a little bit chunkier than Link, but he's gonna have little shoes as well. In fact, let's bring that in a little bit. Oh, it's not moving. Just have to redraw it. There we go. Okay. He's gonna have a little robe. Essentially supposed to be looking like a 17th century like priest. So he's gonna have a cool little robe he's wearing. In fact, I should really go all the way down to his feet. And I want to make it as I don't want this guy to have too much details because it's gonna be one of my first animations. So I don't want him to be too difficult to animate. So in terms of his costume, it's going to be very flowy, but it's not going to flow too much, I think. There you go. And his hat, I need to just reposition a little bit better. Like that. And he had a bit of a bubble at the top. There we go. And maybe we'll give him a little collar. And the inside is going to be black, or like a greyish colour. There we go. This guy's kind of cool. Need to do his hat actually a little bit. Their hats are kind of like maybe not so tall. Let's squash that a little bit. Oops. There we go. Will species of Fae get names, or they would just be referred to as animal Fae? Good question. I would say. Do you know, it's something I considered before. Do you know, doing like seal Fae as like selkies, or fish Fae as like mermaids, and bird Fae as banshees or something like that, or harpies. But that was like when I was first conceptualizing the project, and I might still do it where maybe in like Caledonia they refer to themselves by these names to kind of separate themselves from each other. But yeah, for now they're just generic old crow Fae or jackdaw Fae. Actually, their eyes are a little bit forward facing, I guess, because they are kind of like omnivores. Very expressive. There you go, that's a bit better. It's kind of cute. It's got like a bit of a bauble on top. Make him a bit skinnier here. Right. I think that'll do for now. So he's just going to have... That's going to be the front view. So we'll leave that there. And we'll do the side view of the same guy. Orcas should keep their fins to themselves on other parts. Death Prince Belair, why are you called that? My last username was the Cancer from Uranus. I prefer something classier than that. It still doubles as a band name. Cancer from Uranus and Death Prince of Bel-Air are both awesome band names. Question for the Dragon Crow. Did it have a monarchy caste system like lords, barons, viscounts before the dragon transformation? Not something I've considered, really. That's a great question. Definitely kind of like it's not something I've really jumped into a lot, like political systems of different places. But in fact, let me copy this guy so I can use him as a bit of a trace. Stick him in the middle. Yeah, it's a great question. I think I would like they would have like these like high priests, because a lot of them are, instead of being like kings, they're kind of worshipped as gods, and so they people don't really look at them in that same kind of sense. So yeah, I guess so. Maybe they would have maybe like a high priest, or like a bishop, or something more along those lines. Then something like counts and stuff like that. Okay, I've not done a lot of concept art, so you've got to kind of bear with me with this turnaround. Don't really measure his belt very well. Oh, actually no, I'll read through the comments before I talk about any of these other ones. I made a monarchy a few months ago. Now none of us have it. I like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You're a fan of music. There's a few musicians in the Discord. There are, absolutely. Hey, Badger Friend, I made some orcas in the most bipedal form a long time ago. Should I find it and send it in the Discord art? Yes, absolutely. I would say anything like that's cool. There's actually a inspiration page, but if you want to, because you've drawn it, I would say you can just stick it straight in the art page. But I would definitely up for seeing anything along those regards. I think in the inspo page, in the inspo channel, I've put a few things like related to just like animals that I think look pretty cool and that people have done, like I think someone posted it a little while ago, burrows and badgers type thing, where you've got these animals which are, I guess, bipedal and just look kind of cool. Give him his hat. That goes all the way up to the top there. Goes all the way down to the sides. It's got this bauble on top. So I'm not going to be doing like a 3D render of these guys or anything, but I would like for them to be, you know, to like make it easier to animate. I thought it would just be a good idea to draw these a bit like this. I don't know if any of you guys have done any animation before. Maybe you guys can give me some tips. I've only done like the very, I did a little bit in the previous video, but again it's like just basic parallax animations, like nothing too crazy. So definitely something I would need to do a bit more practice. I'm hoping this video will be like a good way for me to kind of improve in animation, I hope. Dethroned. The crown interaction is strange. This reminds me of Hollow Knight Silksong. I've been playing that game since it was released. Hollow Knight. Oh, Silksong. Yeah, that's the. I think I played the first Hollow Knight. Yeah, that was a very good game. I'm going to put a graph in the art or general. Up to you. I'll let you decide. You know, if you think maths is art, feel free to put it in the art channel. Let's say, you know, I'll leave it up to you guys what you want to post in there. You guys post a lot of cool stuff, so if you think it's art worthy, you can post it in there as well. It's a bit. Post his do his shoes as well. He's gonna have little booties. Those, I guess, his feet need to be a bit further back. Okay. Nice. Yeah, so this guy is going to be essentially like, so I'll tell you the idea for this video. Barely enough time for 2 Helldive missions in a week. I know, right? I need to do the same. So my idea with this video, I'll show you guys. The main plan is to, I'll show you. So it's going to be a scene where there's going to be these cows that are essentially being sacrificed to this dragon troll. So these are giant cows, and they're bred specifically to feed Corvus, like this this dragon. So they're brought into this big chamber, and it's essentially going to be like a really big room with 2 massive pillars at the front, and a big walkway, and then a big circle in the middle. And so they kind of walk down this corridor, and this is them walking towards the circle, so it's kind of flipped the camera over. So they're bringing these 3 big cows through. So then on the right, there's this chain lever, and essentially the chain is what is keeping the dragon kind of locked up away from the circle. So it's wrapped around one of the pillars, and then it's attached to his neck. So they bring the cows in, they attach the cows to the floor, and then the dragon can eat them. So this is them walking down from the walkway at the top left, towards the middle of the circle. So again, these are kind of concept stuff, but it's these are just the kind of preliminary thumbnails I've done. So it's not going to be a really long animation, probably like maybe 1 or 2 minutes, because again, I'm not going to do like a massive frame rate, and I'm going to very much rely on Procreate's kind of cheaty animation things where it just does transform as part of the animation. So for example, like a zoom in or like a shake, and you can kind of maneuver like a 2D image so it looks a little bit like an animation. So it's going to be very, very basic, but hopefully it'll be kind of cool. We'll see. Campaign is not instant gratification. I just move a lot of stuff to watch this stream because it's the only stream I watch. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. It's good having you here every week, so I appreciate you being here for it. It would have been really messed up. One of these cows turned into a face. Yeah, that's a great idea, actually. Yeah, I think I mentioned in like the weird folk video that an example of a weird folk might be like a pig who can talk. So you could have that, and essentially they wear these feed bags, so they're blinded because they have the blinders on like horse blinders, but essentially it's backwards, so they can move forward, but they're just being led. And they have these big feed bags on with like scented grass, so they can't smell all the horrible blood and bones in the room. And then they're going to have something covering their ears as well, so they can't hear the movements of this massive animal. So they kind of go in there not knowing what's happening before they get eaten. And you can see there where, because he's chained up against the wall, when they release the chain, as a troll, he's quite mindless, so he's just going to immediately eat them. So there's a big, obviously where he's been eating them for a long time, it's just been splattering them. So yes, I think if it was like a sentient troll, that would be super messed up for sure. Okay, cool. So the very basic drawings, but I think this should help me to kind of better understand how I'm going to animate this guy. So I'm going to do a few little character sketches to help me kind of figure out his movement. And so if we just do a few little movements like him walking and holding like the reins of the cow. I'll do him kind of running away. And again, he's got little legs. And then we'll do him maybe kneeling down to tie the cows into place, and him pulling the lever to allow the dragon to get out. How do you do that? So I guess it would be that, and then like that. Yeah. Okay, and then maybe like a shocked one as well. His back foot. There we go. Okay. So again, I've not done really any animation at all before, so we'll just see how this goes. So do these one by one. Okay. Just gonna have his head kind of to the side. Have a look. I found the orca drawing, but I'm gonna do a redraw of the orca. Nice. Should be another art piece. Yeah. Interested to see that for sure. Are you guys, any of you guys working on any other stuff this week, or got any stuff on the go? I'm really hoping I can get this finished as soon as possible, as next month is going to be very hectic. So I want to make sure I can get as much of this done as possible. have his little pointy hat as well. Bauble on top. Again, it needs to be a really simple silhouette so I can easily not worry about animating him too much. This kind of works. It's like not too difficult, but it's still got like a little bit of detail. I mean, it has got that kind of maybe like that. Big cow nose. I think it's simple, but it's also like I said, like it got a little bit of detail from that. It's like 17th century priest reference I'm using. Still need to figure out how to share some of my references, but I'll figure that out another time. Should that be some new character in a short story for him? Not done yet. Nice. I personally am once more working on my YouTube banner, but I've got to say it's taking annoyingly long, which I guess is necessary, but to get good quality, but still, yeah, it can be frustrating. I find I'm the same. You know, when I work on an image for too long, you get kind of bored of doing it, right? You just wanna get it done and just get out of the way. I'm just gonna redo this beak here. I've got a reference image, so might as well use it. So yeah, no, I feel you, man. It's like it's a bit annoying, but yeah, like you said, I think if anything, it's just good practice, right? Just drawing and getting stuff finished as much as possible, as fast as possible. I would say don't rush it as well. Just especially for like a banner image, you want it to kind of be done to the best quality. Since as soon as people join your YouTube page, they're gonna like enter your YouTube page. That's the first thing they're gonna see. So it's definitely good to have a good quality one. I just need to edit his hat a little bit. Make it a bit smaller. There we go. His hat needs to be a little bit darker. Beak goes all the way to his eye. There we go. Just made a float. What's a float? What do you mean? Okay. He's have a bit more of a concerned look on his face since he's walking into the lair of a big scary dragon. Actually, if I just colour him in entirely, and then I erase to get some grey here as well. And we use that to make the feathers. In fact, his beak's a bit too big. That's better. Nice. Okay, it's looking kind of cool. Can a little push here. Just redo his beak. Looks a bit like a blackbird now. Okay, I'll do. Alright, that's the first one. Next to a big cow. That looks like a bug actually. Let's do a big cow. Okay, right. Let's do another one. So we do him running. Oops. There we go. Just made a float soda and ice cream, horrible, unhealthy. Made in America, some Canadians adopted it. We make them in the UK as well. It's like a very traditional thing. I think it does come. We did get it from North America. The little seaside town where my parents are from. We used to go there as kids, and we would always have ice cream floats. And God, I could not imagine having one now. I think I mean I haven't had one in a long time. I might enjoy it, but yeah, it's been a very long time since I had one. They're quite nice, I think, especially in the summer. The only thing I don't really like is once all the ice cream is melted and you're just left with kind of like a soup, and then it's like super sugary and milky at the same time. Yeah, I used to love them as a kid. Make him look a bit scared here. Sorry, I keep knocking the microphone. Just trying to keep it close to me, but a bit too close. Yes. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's just cover his face a little bit. A little bit chunkier. Move the head a little bit out of the way. Head back. I think that's better. Nice. Okay, it's kind of like a running one. Standing one, running one. Maybe like push the colors a little bit. More people need to be talking. Chat got quiet. I think a lot of the guys, yeah, I was just about to say what Lazy Crows has said. I think a lot of people do the same as what I do when I watch streams. It's like you just kind of draw at the same time and just interact every now and again. It's a good way to like stay motivated and get working on stuff. Be motivated together. That's a good way to do it. Okay, cool. So we've done running. We've done dragging a cow. Let's do kneeling. And once we've done these, I'll start working on the actual images. And then I think I will, yeah, and we'll see if we can get some of these in the actual animation moving. Like I said, I haven't really used Dreams much, so it might be a bit of a faff trying to get it working, but we'll see. Are you, Lazy Crow? Are you working on the orca image? Are you? side down, I really need to draw more. Honestly, mate, I would say it's a good way to just like it's like an obvious thing to say, but I think it's just one of those things that just really helps you to improve faster. It's just to draw every day. I think a lot of people do like tutorials and stuff like that to try and improve, but I think the best thing is just to keep drawing. Obviously, getting fundamentals and stuff is important, but whoops, this guy's not happy. Not happy. This is his job. Okay, these are all kind of test images, but okay for now. It's not easy to kneel down in this rope. Shoes. One, two. Oh, I forgot his neckerchief. There we go. I don't think I'm going to be drawing him in this position in the animation, but maybe just trying to do his hands a little bit. Or like from his back, perhaps. Maybe I should try drawing his back then. Okay, I'll do. Okay, and then we'll do his back actually. That's a good one to try and draw. Oops. Okay. So the hat sits kind of low. Frederick, I'm just playing gacha right now, but I'm here. Like a gacha game? What game are you playing? I've heard of gacha games, but if I'm honest, I'm not sure what they are. So. Has anyone here played much Space Marine 2? I just got it recently, and it is very awesome. I was actually really surprised. I enjoyed the kind of PvP thing so much. I've pretty much stopped playing PvP games because they're just, you know, a bit like Saidan said. It's like, I don't have much time during the week, and playing PvP games just frustrates me, which is not really the purpose of playing video games. But the PvP is really fun. I think it's like, it reminds me a bit of like Gears of War, or even like the original Space Marine PvP. It's like a good fun game, and like you slowly unlock stuff, and you can make like a cool Space Marine character, and it's fun. Reverse 1999. I don't know what that is. Reverse 1999. I never heard of it. What is a gacha game exactly? I'm not entirely sure. I know it's like a lot of them are like anime games, right? The PvP underwhelmed me. I love PvP. Do you know? I think maybe I don't know if for you, Saidan, it was just like too simple, but maybe that's good. Do you know, you have things like Apex Legends or Warzone where it's just so intense, and there's so many things to consider. It's like with this, there's different kind of weapons people use, but it's kind of just like good positioning and smart play. Whereas Apex or some of these other games, it's almost impossible to beat beat some people who are just better at the game and they have more time. I was playing against some guys who were level 40 or higher, and I was getting some good kills. And I'd only played, it was like my first or second game, and I was doing okay. Which I think is like very rare for like a lot of PvP. It's like if you haven't been playing the full time, you just get stomped by whoever's like running the game. Whoever's like constantly playing the game. It's a bit like Fortnite. Like I don't mind Fortnite no build, but that's the same. If you go into a game and there's like a couple of people in there who just constantly play, and it's pretty impossible to beat them, unless you're super lucky or they make a mistake or something. So, but I found with Space Marine 2, it was like simple enough where you didn't have to worry too much about if you've got like the right build or something. It was kind of fun just trying out a bunch of classes and doing a few different weapons and stuff. And do some cool Space Marine moves. Okay, I think these angles on him are like pretty easy to draw now. It's like he's got like the really simple belt, and the robes are kind of easy to flow around his clothes. And then I just need to do a bit of grey on the back of his neck, like that. His hat is like quite a specific shape as well, so it's like recognizable. I think that's the main thing, because even if I don't draw it perfectly, it's good to like be able to recognize that it's this character who's doing it, not like a different character. Okay, let's have a look. What Lazy Crow? What genre of games do you play? I would say one of my friends calls them friend slop. It's like a lot of those, like Lethal Company-esque games where it's like you and your buddies just going off and doing dumb stuff. So we've done things like obviously started like Lethal Company, but we've done Wreck. We've done we do what's it called, Repo. We do a few others. Left 4 Dead is like one of my favorite games of all time, and that's just like a 4-player co-op, obviously PvE type thing. Well, I like the verses as well, but so yeah, those kind of games where it's like like you just play with your mates and there's not really much stress, I would say. How about you guys? I got to say that's the basic reason I can't play PvP anymore. I hate the whole sweat that comes with it. Yeah, man, you just have to keep up with it, don't you? It's like one of those things where as soon as you get kind of out of the loop and like the meta disappears, or just even keeping up with the meta is just insane. It's like unless you have the time to do it, there's no way. Especially with games, how they turn over so fast, and they go to like update, and oh gosh, it's just impossible to be able to get to that point where you can get the same level as a lot of these people. I must say, drawing while having the bard as background is really relaxing. Thanks, Throndix. Yeah, I feel the same. It's nice having you guys here, because it's like I kind of draw and then look up and chat with you guys, so it's nice. I tried to get into Apex and Warzone, but I can't. I love the Marksman carbine in Space Marine 2. I haven't played Marksman yet, because I think there's always someone who plays him, and I think you can only do like one person, I think only one person can be in each class in each game. It's a bit like a hero shooter, I guess. But it does seem kind of fun. Honestly, I was obsessed with Apex. I played hundreds of hours of Apex, and I think I was just angry the whole time. It was just so frustrating getting my ass handed to me just constantly, and there was not much you could do about it. So I just stopped playing eventually, even though I invested quite a lot of money into it. But oh well. Frederick, it's about weird time travel events. Like there's a thing named Storm, and each time it happens, it hops into a different part of history. That does sound cool. Interesting. So what is it like? Actually, I'm looking at the picture here. Oh, I see. So it's like 1950s, 1920s, Victorian era. That's an interesting concept. That's cool. Oh, they got like an Assassin's Creed crossover as well. Oh, that sounds cool. I like more complicated games, I guess, with one of my favourites being Finals. Yeah, I've seen, I think Monster Garden's been playing that quite a lot. Not much of a sweat though. I used to not play PvE Space Marine 2, and Helldivers 2 changed that. Yeah, there you go, Helldivers 2. That's a great example of those like 4-player games. Even Helldivers 2, it's on like, I often play it, I've never played on difficulty 10, but I play on difficulty 9. And that's stressful, but like fun stress. It's not like Apex stress where it is frustrating. It's like trying to stay alive and use your stratagems and call your buddies back in and use your weapons well and have good cover. Space Marines, Helldivers 2 is such an awesome game. The drone meta been crushing it. I don't know that. Is that with the which drone are you using? Lasercrow. I mostly play indie games. Like I said, I play Hollow Knight, and I'm currently playing Silksong. There are some incredible indie games out at the moment. I really hope it kind of changes the industry to make it a bit more, you know, where the games companies care about their product a bit more, because it's just kind of frustrating how rubbish AAA games have been for quite a long time now. Okay, right. We've got our concepts. You know, super simple, but let's start working on some cutouts. And the idea is I'm going to bring the cutouts into the animation thing and try to animate them a little bit into dreams. So if we let's start with just animating this guy walking. In fact, we'll give it a go. We'll do like a live trial of dreams. I'll draw the character first. Walking. Actually, I need to save that. And save. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do this. There you go. Okay. And tactical. What other non-cherry games do you play? First. I'm only like level 5 or 6. Started on Xbox. Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what. I'm not a super high level, but I play with some of my friends got really into it, and I like very high levels now. But yeah, it's an awesome game. So I think it's definitely one of those times you could sink one of those games you could sink a lot of time into, especially with the fact that you can kind of earn the in-game currency. I think that makes a big difference, because then it just means you're able to, you know, to get new weapons and equipment a lot faster. So it's quite nice, you know, not having to worry too much about, and not having to pay for war bonds. I think I've bought one war bond so far, but the rest I've just got from super credit farming. So that's cool. It's cool you can kind of do that in game. Okay, right, I want this guy to be very simple, because it might be quite difficult to animate him actually, because if I'm not doing it kind of line art style, it might not work. In fact, we're probably going to have to do it line art style, aren't we? Right, let's try again. I'll clear that. Indie games rule. Yeah, I agree, Thorndix. They're so good. Double over X is XP, what did I gain? Now that I've won, I don't feel anything. Maybe the point was the journey. That's it. The real first place during the stream is friendship. Everybody knows. Okay. I really don't do a lot of line art, so we'll see how this goes. I think the line art's going to be important for this animation, otherwise it might not work. If I don't end up doing this animation, I'm going to be, I might just do like a slideshow instead. See how that works. super basic, and then we can kind of edit it as we go. He's gonna be walking along. He's got his cow friend. Left leg first, or right leg first. Like that. Shrink its head a little bit. His little tie thing. There you go. Make it move his eyes in a little bit. I'm not sure how this is going to work out, but we'll give it a go. Let's see how far we get. Wizard with a Gun, the indie game. Oh, I've got to try that out. I did see. I think it's on my Steam wish list. I do need to try it out for sure. Right. Like I said, this is going to be super messy, but let's see if this works. Procreate Dreams. Oops. Okay, we should be able to... How do we do this? We should be able to take that. Is it working? It works. Nice. That's pretty cool. Okay. That works. Hi, Daniel Lopez is here. How's it going, mate? Thanks for joining us. Good to have you here. Sonics recently found Screwdrivers, which is a little free indie vehicle building and racing game. I think it's, if that was like a AAA, it would be way less enjoyable. Like the difference in communities between indie and AAA is crazy, and there are games like this where the community just does everything. 100%, yeah. I think it's. I think you're right. I think that's a big aspect of it, right? It's like, especially when they're really open to like modding or things like that, and you just have these like crazy communities who are just super capable of making the game, much better. I think it does make such a massive difference. Gosh, maybe I shouldn't be messing with this to start. Do you know what? We're going to start to draw the characters in Procreate first, because I need to figure out how to use Dreams before I try using it. I'm not going to do it on stream because I don't want to bore you guys. So we'll just start drawing this guy up in more detail and try and get like a better image of him, and then we'll figure out the rest. I'll figure out the animation off stream so it doesn't bore you guys. Right, so we'll do a more detailed face here. Daniel Lopez, how's it going, mate? Thanks for jumping in. Good to have you here. Just chatting about indie games and trying to animate a short something I'm going to do for. Oh yeah, so for the collab, I haven't really talked about that. So I'm doing a collab with a few other YouTubers. I mentioned it in the Discord, but just to kind of reiterate. So I got recommended the Monster Garden collab a little while ago. I saw it a little while ago, but I just got recommended it recently. I guess because Halloween's coming back up, where they do, I think, him and Tree Lancer and another YouTuber did like a Monster Bash kind of collab, where they have a few like cards and they create a monster. I'm sure you guys have seen it. So I was like, oh, that's a really cool idea, and like especially as like a community kind of event where they work with like other YouTubers and stuff. I thought that was like a cool way to do it. So I shot a message to Alba, who's in our Discord, who's like a world building YouTuber, to see if she'd be interested. And she was like, "Oh yeah, cool. That sounds like a great idea." So then and then she gave me a couple of suggestions about who I should message as well. And then I also messaged Winter, who's like a big dude over on the Monster Garden Discord. And I've been I think he was one of the first guys I started watching actually when it came to like world building videos. So I was like, okay, I'll message him, see what he says. And he got back to me. He was like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do it. And then finally, Alba had recommended a guy called Cryptic Galapagos, and I'm sure you guys have seen like I think I put it in the Discord. He's got a really cool concept where he does like he's doing like essentially MMORPG in the Galapagos where you play as marine iguanas, and then you kind of unlock the ability to evolve into different kind of types of these iguanas. So you could have like, for example, you could work with these tortoises, these land tortoises, and you would when you evolve, you have like extra armor and extra scales and stuff like that. And then you can evolve again and be like focus on defense, or defense and attack, or defense and speed, and it affects how your iguana looks. And it's a really, really cool concept. And I think he's actually making it into a game. So he's got like 3D models and stuff like that. So yeah, these 3 awesome kind of world builders. And yeah, so we're doing like a kind of a little collab, which is what this video is for actually. This is what I'm working on. And the idea is that we've all rolled up different parts. And the parts that I rolled up are, let me have a look. Oh, I've lost my sheet. The 3 body parts I rolled up were bloody kickbots. Sorry, let me get rid of these kickbots. We'll keep the nice message and get rid of the rubbish ones. We'll get rid of all of them since he's a spammer. So I would ask for suggestions, but not a soul has finished my project to be able to suggest something. I promise, Saidan, I will finish it. Yeah, like I said, it's a pretty hectic month next month. But so yeah, I can tell you're British by differences of how you pronounce things. Yeah, I think it must sound very different to you North American chaps, for sure. Cryptic Galapagos is very cool. Yeah, I agree. Do you know, it's crazy. I was saying to, I think it's Rita in the Discord, I was saying that it's crazy that YouTube doesn't recommend these kind of things, where it's like, you know, the perfect YouTube channel for me to enjoy, because I love world building stuff, and I don't get it. And I had to get it from Alba. Alba was the one who recommended it to me, so I was like, oh gosh, how have I missed this guy? So yeah, when I messaged him as well, he was like, oh yeah, super keen. And we had this call. We had like a group Discord call, and we had a quick chat, and we kind of decided what we were going to do, and we spun this wheel, and we got these different like body parts for our monsters, and then we got like a group body part. And so the plan is we're all going to go away and kind of do our own thing with the body parts that we've got, and come back just before Halloween to record like a reveal of our art and talk about our art and stuff like that. And then come Halloween, we're all going to post at the same time and show and to our channels, and then kind of link to each other's channels as well, so people can kind of see the collab. So it should be really cool. Yeah, I'm really excited because obviously they're all awesome artists, and they have these like amazing projects. I think Winter is between projects at the moment, but the project he's working on in his Discord, he's building up his like new project, and it looks really awesome as well. He's like an amazing artist. So they have these like really cool art styles, and I think it's just going to be it's gonna be like a nice collab to do, and it's kind of like a test run because I want to see how it goes, and I think I will definitely do more collabs in the future, either with these guys or maybe like trying to get into contact with some other YouTubers as well. But yeah, I'm really hoping this one goes well, and then start to build up a community of some of these other guys. Get to know them and do some more community projects and things like that. Could be cool. I would make a game if I had the time. I could think of a lot of relating to my project. Yeah, it's something I've always kind of considered doing. In fact, I've tried a few times. I've done some like courses on game design and things like that. Like online courses. I mean, nothing like super serious, but it's so difficult. It's a lot more difficult than it looks. I'm pretty obsessed with indie game developers on YouTube. I follow a lot of them, and I think I really want to. It always inspires me, but it kind of inspires me to do this project as well, which is good. So I'm not getting too distracted. The slang, I can tell by British slang, like chaps and mate. Things really said outside of Australia and Britain. Unless you're a biologist, you said mate. Yeah. To be honest, chaps. I don't know where chaps come from. I think I say it a lot on here, but mate, yeah, is super common in the UK. We have a lot of like different vocabulary to you guys. We use a lot of like North American vocabulary because we get a lot of like American TV and all these kind of things. So, but I guess our media doesn't really get across the pond as well as yours does. Big cow. Let's give him his hat. Let's have his hat on. It's like a little sailor hat, isn't it? Thronics got me even more excited than I was before. Nice. Yeah, I think it's going to be a really cool project. You know, I was saying to them the other day that I'm worried I'm not going to be able to keep up. Like, I'm not going to be able to like produce as good as their stuff. But I think that's kind of the advantage to a project like this, is it kind of pushes you to try something new. Which is why I'm doing this animation. I think it will be a good way to, because like with the, with the YouTube video I released today or yesterday, I did a couple of little animations, and the one I was really happy with actually was the first one with the seal guy that we drew in one of the previous streams, because it's really simple. It's like the background is moving and the foreground is moving, but the foreground is also moving in and out, and it does quite, with the sound and everything, I feel like it does, kind of show that he's on a boat quite well. So I want to do more stuff like that, because to not just have the pictures but also have like the real vibe of like with sound effects, like people walking and yeah, I think it'd be cool to be able to animate a little bit better. We'll see. Who knows? I think I don't want to stretch myself too thin trying to do too many art styles, but I think animation is a good one for drawing skills anyway. So. Where's my cow? I haven't done my cow yet. There he is. It's interesting to see difference in culture. Does Britain only have one national language? Pretty sure it is only one. No. So we have English in England. But in Wales, they speak two languages. They speak English and Welsh. Welsh is like a derivative of like Gaelic. I guess there's like a historical connection to Gaelic. And then in Ireland, there's a resurgence of Gaelic as well, like Irish Gaelic. And then in Scotland, there's also a resurgence of Scots, which is Scottish Gaelic. So the last two are not super prominent, but in Wales, yeah, if you visit Wales, they'll have like a sign for a city, and the first name on the sign will be in Welsh, and then the second name will be in English, so you can kind of translate. And you see it a lot with smaller regions. For example, in the southwest is a region called Cornwall, and in Cornwall they have Cornish, which is again like a derivative of Gaelic. It's like a Gaelic language, and a lot of like older people still speak it, and they teach it in some schools. And again, all of the signs are in English and in Cornish, so they're very kind of like patriotic about their language. So yeah, there's this resurgence of kind of identity in a lot of the regions in the UK, which is pretty cool. It does mean, yeah, you have a lot more languages. Damn, you forgot it's the United Kingdom and not just England. Yeah. Well, yeah, I suppose if you consider the United Kingdom, yeah, that's Northern Ireland as well. And then I think Great Britain is just England, Scotland, and Wales. But yeah, if you consider the whole of Ireland, I think that's a big aspect of it, is just having that resurgence of Gaelic. I like this guy. I might do the cow separately, actually, because he's going to be on a rope. So I want him kind of walking a little bit. But we might try and do. Let's try and do a few. Animation assist. Add a frame. And we'll do. That falls behind a little bit. Have that come down a little bit. And we'll turn his head. The eyes down here. And the hat is more like here. The ball thing is like here. And if we turn off the onion skin, again we can kind of. Gosh, it's going to take a long time to animate this, I think. I'm sure it's going to work entirely. Troubles watched a video on it recently. Yeah. Big part of our history. A lot of my family's from Ireland, and yeah, I think a lot of Irish people were not treated very well, to be honest. Because of time zone, it's getting quite late here, and I got to get up early tomorrow, so I'm going to head to bed. I wish you all a nice stream and a good rest of the week. Thanks, mate. Yeah, I appreciate you being here. I'll see you next time, and good having you here. And hopefully we'll have some more stuff to show for the next stream. Side down. I might hop off soon to finish homework. No worries, mate. Yeah, appreciate you being here as well. Like I said, I've got a lot more this animation to be working on and practicing, so it'd be good to work on that first. In fact, what I might do is just do a few more of these frames. The foot coming down. There we go. His arm coming down a little bit. Next frame. going to have a little bit of a vibe, but other than that, I think. Never mind, not a lot today, around 2 minutes of it. Nice. Yeah, I've got some stuff to do afterwards as well, so crack on. I've still got another half an hour of this stream left, so I'll try and get as much of this first bit done as possible. Play. Bit too fast. Frames per second. 1. Not so detailed. It likes like devolves. I think the vibe is there, right? It's like obviously the last one is very different to that first one, but nice. Thanks, Rundix. Appreciate you stopping by, mate. And we'll see you next time. I can see why animation is so hard when you've got to do all of these like frame by frame and then detail them afterwards. It's very tricky to keep like consistent with the like the quality. If I can do like a good loop, or maybe like he swings his arm back and then this comes back up, and then we can get his leg all the way up to the top. And then it kind of swings back down again and does like a full loop. I think it should look okay. Hello, hello, Coffee Pixel. How's it going, mate? Good to see you here. Just see how this works. When one leaves, another joins. How are you, Coffee Pixel? What have you been up to? I'm just working on a very, very basic animation here, as you can see. I'm going to try and do some animations in Procreate Dreams. So, drawing some basic frames as like a test to see how it looks. It goes all the way up there. So if I do ping pong, oops, I got an empty frame there. We don't want the ping pong, do we want loop? No, we don't want loop, we do want ping pong. So what's missing there? So his foot goes up, comes back down, foot goes up. Ah, there you go, there's a repetition there. Yeah, what's wrong there? That one, up. And the foot isn't. That's because the foot isn't. The foot needs to be all the way up there. Okay, needs to be at the height. So then that should work. Do 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 do. Oh, it's got too many feet up there. So if we put the foot a bit lower here, a little bit lower, there, and then a bit lower here. That's on the floor there. Okay, that should work. Let's have a look. Do 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 do. Okay, that kind of works, right? What do you think? And well, thank you. How's everyone? Very good, thanks. Yeah, like I said, just kind of started on this stream doing some little concept sketches for this little character that's going to be part of this animation. So he's a little jackdaw who is making a sacrifice to this guy. Bum, 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 bum. Troll dragon or dragon troll. I should figure out what the convention is. I'm back. I was making a sandwich. What were you saying about Wales speaking 2 languages? Wales is in Wales. So the Wales is in the country that's west of England. They speak Welsh and English. The creature on screen, like this guy. You talk about this guy, Frederick. This is the troll dragon that we're going to be sacrificing some cows to. After we've done this cute little animation. What I might do is I might try and do like... Oh no, the little one. Oh. Which one? This guy? Sacrifices for the dragon. That's right. The corvid dragon needs to be fed well. Very important. Troll dragon, is that a thing? It is now. It's an idea I had a little while ago of like a dragon who's gone insane. But yeah, the idea is he's the reason he's gone insane is because he's become a troll, and so they've like chained him under the castle of Jorvik, in the city of Jorvik. He lives underneath the castle, and they basically bring him fresh cows every day or every other day to feed him. Because they want to keep him alive because he's their god, their like patron. So, yeah, he is a troll dragon. Made a mentally damaged child for Sidon. Oh dear. Sidon's not a good dad. I think maybe because if I do an extra frame, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So if we could do an extra frame here actually. Let's do like a slightly higher foot. And we could do this kind of flowing a bit back. And this kind of falling flattish. And this face kind of going in the middle a little bit. And the hat bobbing. Move the arm down as if it's kind of swinging. And then we'll do this like fully so you can't see the arm at all. So that looks. Doop, 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 doop. Kind of cute. I wouldn't think he's on his way to sacrifice a cow. He and the Emperor had that in common. Well, he was only 2 so far. And so basically a dragon that went mad because X reason. Now it's chained in this palace he calls home. So the dragon is Corvus, who's essentially the Corvid dragon. So he's the one that the giants worship. Where's my giants video? So these guys. So these guys worship him. They got these like wooden feathers, and they're all kind of corvids. But also the giants of Jorvik worship him. I got a picture of the woman, the female. Oh, here she is. So like she's wearing like a feather, which represents that she's a worshipper of Corvus, and they like love crows and things like that. And they have lots of, corvids in their city. So Jorvik has a big castle right in the middle of it. And underneath the castle, Everyone thinks it's just a basement, but actually everyone presumes the Corvus, the Corvid dragon, is dead, but he's not dead. He turned into a troll, and his worshippers basically moved him underneath into this cellar. And as he was transforming, whilst he was still a little bit lucid, they locked him in the cellar, and now he's gone fully into trolldom and has transformed. Corvus Corax, yeah, yeah, it's actually like Crow, right? Is the what's his name? The Primarch of the Raven Guard. Yeah, essentially that's where I got it from as well. Like, so Corvus the dragon is because he's a Corvid dragon. So he went mad because he turned into a troll, or I guess he turned into a troll and therefore is mad. And so now he's locked in this basement, and they've been feeding him ever since to keep him alive. So I keep getting these cheap views. People buy views. Let me just delete that comment. 1 second. Sorry. And ban. Okay, all gone. It was changed before. Yeah, exactly right. So a dragon can become a troll. Yes, exactly right. Yeah, everything can turn into a troll. That's right. So essentially, I was saying to the guys at the start that whatever you transform into, whether it's like a human transforms into a giant, or an animal transforms into a fae, or an animal transforms into a giant, it's always possible that you could transform into a troll. There's always like a chance. Frederick, are there factors that can increase the chances of creature turning into a troll? It's something I'm considering. It's actually one of the storylines I'm kind of thinking about for the TTRPG that I'm working on for this setting, and I think I will try to like produce like a little, basically a short story about something along those lines. But yeah, in that short story, there's like a story about where there's like a massive increase in trolls for some reason, and nobody knows why. So yeah, that's gonna be part of it. In fact, I'm not gonna work on this too much because I want it to be really basic for the initial animation. Everything evolving into crab moments, exactly. Everything become troll. Oh god, I might cheat actually, because this is going to take a long time. I really like these thumbnails. I might just work on these a little bit more and keep these as separate layers, and then import these. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do exactly that. I think I'm being quite ambitious with this animation, but I feel like if I cheat a little bit, I can do some interesting like transform animations with just the basics of this stuff. Is that all there? What was that? Oh, I hate when this happens. That one? Oh, that's the one. Okay. Oh, I think that's accidentally. Oh yeah, that's the. I know what that is. So this is them like kind of coming into the room. That is empty. Okay. So a little crow friend here. Let me do like a little side light on him. Like that, yeah. Daniel, can dragons reproduce? Like, if two corvid dragons meet and the courtship is successful, can they have hatchlings? Last I checked, the bot skirted around the question. You know, people have asked me questions about the mating habits of fae and like giants and dragons. And if I'm honest, it's not something I've really considered very much. You know, one of the main things I wanted to talk about was just the story. I guess so. You know, biology is biology, right? Animals do animal things. So I guess, you know, two dragons make a dragon. But yeah, I haven't in terms of like developing anything related to that. I haven't really focused on it. That's my obvious answer. That's my honest answer. That's the word I'm going for. Yeah, I'm not sure it will come up too much in the TTRPG. Would bird fae do courtship as part of a wedding? That's a really cool question, Saidan. Yeah, really cool question. Yeah, Daniel agrees with me. Yeah, I guess so. You know, that could be an interesting video actually. Just the habits of fae that have kind of come from their kind of their native animal cousins. That would be brought through into them becoming fae. Great question, Zonan. I'll think about that because I feel like, oops, I accidentally bashed the microphone there. Sorry guys, I don't know if that was super loud. Oh, I got a follow on Twitch. Nice. Riffy. Riffy from the Discord. Sorry, I don't know if that was super loud for you guys. I like smashed the microphone with my Apple Pen. Sorry, mate. Yeah, thanks for following, Riffy. Yeah, appreciate you being here. That's the first time that's happened in a long time. I can't remember the last time someone followed me on Twitch, so that was a shock for me as well. So yeah, I'll think about that. Yeah, that's a great thing to consider for future, you know, videos. I think you could make something really cool. Hey Riffy, thanks for jumping in. Yeah, I'll show you what we're working on. For this collab that we're doing, for the Halloween thing, we're doing I'm accessed at YouTube for now, so I'm on here. No worries. So I'm doing a video about a little jackdaw who is bringing some cows to his master, and his master is a zombie dragon. So currently working on that. I wanted to do a few little animations, but yeah, I think I will. We've been working on a little animation so far with one of the characters, so hopefully I'll be able to do a few little animations for it once I get Procreate Dreams working. But for now, we're just working on these like detailed thumbnails. I can def see Corvid giving a shiny trinket to his fiancée instead of the usual ring. Yeah, that could be part of like the Corvid culture. Is like, you know, well, it is actually part of this with this dragon story. Is that they bring things to essentially throw into the dragon pit, thinking it'll appease him. But I mean, he's gone insane, so he doesn't really care. I'm no Frederick. Do fae and human relations happen? If so, would think them taboo. This is the question I was avoiding. Because I'm no Frederick. Yeah, because yeah, like I said, I'm not nothing against the anthro community, but yeah, it's not something I'm really going to bring into the scene, to the setting. I think yeah, I might do it as part of like the fae doing this, like you said, as part of like their courtship ritual, but we'll see. With the fae and human stuff, I won't touch on that, I don't think. Riffy, you're already working on this thing for Halloween. Yeah, I have a very crazy month next month, and therefore I need to get a move on for essentially the stuff I'm doing for Halloween. So yeah, I kind of need to get it done as soon as possible. So I'm working on it now. I want to get it done before the end of the month, and so if I can, it will be finished. I'm going to get as much of like the main images drawn, and then if I have any problems towards the end of the month, it won't really matter because it'll pretty much be ready to go. We're gonna touch base again, I think at the start of October, and then again before Halloween, so we can do like a reveal. We can record a reveal, and then afterwards, hopefully we'll be able to we'll definitely be able to get all the videos out at the same time, I think, and share them. So it should be pretty cool. Also, did the acceleration change genetic material, or is it magic? Makes sense that. That's why I don't bring in aliens into my settings. There's no magic in the setting. There's like the people believe there's magic, but that's just kind of like superstition. But yeah, I would say probably the biggest reason for like everybody evolving is like a change in genetic material that's been caused by something that happened during the acceleration. So it's not really been stated in the law, and I'm going to keep working on that to make it more believable, or maybe just never bring it up, so that it's just kind of one of those aspects of the story which is hidden and we never really find out about. So I don't think it's like super, necessary to have a reason for the acceleration. I think it just could be like a cool thing that happened, and we just never hear about it. So we'll see. Maybe it will come up again. Frederick, can different types of Fae have hybrid offspring, or local magic is not that wild to let happen biology? So I guess it's similar to the human relationship question. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I will. I don't know. I probably won't touch too much on that because I don't want a big aspect of this to be like different animals mixing and like we have these potential different relationships between different species and stuff like that. So it's not going to be an aspect of the story, I don't think. So I haven't really thought about it, if I'm honest. But if anyone wants to write some fanfic, it's up to you. You can do that. But yeah, I haven't really touched on it. The philosophical is that they're all human. No one needs to ask questions. That's a nice way to justify it. If memory serves me right, you said trolls after transformation begin to grow multiple eyes and look eldritch. Does a dragon troll look like some eldritch horror? I'll show you. Lazy Crow, good question. Let's have a look. So, yeah, it's like it's a really basic sketch, but as you can see, he's got these things here are supposed to be. Oops. So just on one side of his head, he's got 1, 2, 3 eyes. And I was going to give him some spikes and some other things as well once I've drawn it a little bit. In fact, in the detailed sketch, you can kind of see it a little bit better. And he's got one of his eyes just here. I need to obviously make all the sketches the same. But yeah, he's going to look quite creepy. Hopefully once it's done. Coffee Pixel, mystery is fun. I agree. Yeah, I think that's a good way to do like a lot of fantasy stuff. It's like you kind of hint at it and then never bring it up again. And then it kind of like leaves it there in the air for people to imagine. The crafty, so maybe a shiny rock or like a processed amber adorned with some feathers from the one who gives the gifts. Could be like the proposal gift between Corvids and other similar bird fae. Yeah, absolutely. I think that'd be cool. You could do some like really cool concept art for different, like gifts that are handed to the different, and like that they hand to their mates and things like that as part of like the wedding thing. That's a great idea. I love that idea, despite not thinking of love or anything of that sort for my setting. Yeah, I think relationships can be an interesting part of a story. If any of you guys read Guelph, I think they go a little bit into that, like just families. But you know, he's a good example of that because he doesn't do. So with Guelph, it's a lot of stuff like, you know, badgers and foxes who cast magic, and they have and there's archers and there's warriors, and there's bakers and hairdressers and stuff like that. But again, they have like rabbits and they have rabbit families, and they have badgers and they have badger families. So he doesn't really touch on it. I think he kind of avoids the same kind of topics. So I think I will do the same perhaps. Sorry, I'm flicking between these scenes because I want to get like a few ideas. So we're going to jump onto another one where he's kind of stepping out with his cow. And did I do that already actually? No, okay, that's what the animation I did. So he steps out with his cow. So we need to draw that quite detailed. That could be a good way to do it actually. If I just do it as like 3 quite detailed sketches, and then they kind of blend together as he walks down the corridor. A bit cheaty. But it stops me from having to do like a bunch of different frames. Could be a good way to do it. And I think I can still animate it quite well in Dreams. In fact, yeah, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to take this initial frame. I'm going to steal that. Thank you very much. Bring it over here. Okay, because I like that image. We'll do a bit more details on this one. My image might be banned inside my new society law patch, as their lives are too good. That'll make things a little bit more difficult for the citizenry. So Coffee Pixel, I think I've asked for you guys. How's everyone working? What's everyone working on at the moment? Daniel, Lazy Crow. I know you're doing the Orca stuff. Sidan, I know you're doing your book. Frederick, I think you said you were gaming, weren't you? Daniel, Coffee Pixel, Riffy, are you guys working on anything cool at the moment? Some animals bring gifts when trying to get a mate, like male spiders bring food for the female, or some bird species bring a recent kill to show they're good hunters that they can provide. Yeah, this is a really cool thing to expand on, I think. So it could be like a little video on like Fae culture, and again, it could be things like yeah, like I said, like mating rituals, or it could be like forms of barter. So like you know, maybe they're not super interested in money. They just want, food. So if you want to barter with a Fae, you have to bring them like a really good meal, and you can become best friends with them. Or again, like the way they live, like a badger Fae would probably want to live in the basement of a house, whereas like a bird Fae would want to live in the attic or on the roof of a house. Or so you'd have like animals wanting to live in Fae wanting to live in different places depending on you know, where they're based. I mean, what type of Fae they are. This guy doesn't look quite concerned enough. A bit more concerned. Okay, a bit more concerned. That's good. Off top, but I was thinking about how to do shake anthro characters without turning them into Lami Naga, and I guess one of the ways to give them more like human-like faces. I'm not sure what these words mean, Frederick. Is it? I guess like Lamia Naga is like half, right? I guess yeah, like a Naga, like a snake thing, right? And you know that from World of Warcraft. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how people would draw into that kind of stuff, and you could have some like very creative ideas with something along those lines. I'm not doing much, just thinking of a presentation I have to do next month. Planning things slowly. Nice. I can definitely see some Fae doing things like that as part of their culture and relationships. Not necessarily romantic, but also in friendships and stuff like that. Exactly, yeah. So yeah, if you had them kind of doing stuff that they would think is quite normal, and even like with humans, so they would give the humans like a rock because they want to be friends with a human or something, or they want to make a good relationship, like a political relationship. So they give them, as part of the political relationship, the human will bring them in and feed them, and then the magpies would bring in some shiny rocks to present to the humans, their favorite shiny rocks. Yeah, maybe like with frog relationships, you'd have to eat some bugs to like prove you're friends with them. Make human legs and snake top, like Ninjago. Yeah. Oh, I love Ninjago. I used to have a lot of like the little figures when I was a kid. Snake. Valentine special. Yeah, you could do a love one. Absolutely. I was trying to think of like a Christmas special I could do. Actually, I do have kind of one planned. I think I told you guys about it before, but yeah, I'll do like a festive one, but definitely a love-inspired one would be good. It would be funny to see a young bird fae pulling the forbidden dance move to impress a girl she likes. Yeah. Yeah, I think you could do some like fun stuff. And again, like a bird fae who's like trying to be intimidating, like by puffing out his chest, but like with a human in like a bar fight or something who's got like a big puffed out chest, and is making like angry noises, and the human's like, "What are you doing, dude?" Yeah, Daniel's come up with a lot of good ideas. Right now, commission again, but the other one today, thanks for asking. In general, my main project is also world building, and it's really inspiring to see other world builders. Nice. Yeah. I don't know if I've seen your project in the project section, Riffy. I don't know if you've added it in there, but what's your world about? I think we've talked about it before in the stream, but it's like one. I would say the only problem with world building is there's not enough of it. So like you'll get through like someone's YouTube channel and finish all their videos, and then you'll have nothing to watch. Because I think that the videos take so long to produce. It's difficult to produce things fast enough, so you end up just having to wait for ages between videos. Right, I'm going to do a smaller, less detailed image of this little dude for the like far away shot. For the video, in fact, if I duplicate that, make him smaller. Kind of copy his size. Oops. That's at least similar. Nice. Bang steps right. Do you write world build? What made you do YouTube Bard? I'm not sure, to be honest. I think do you know? I think I watched Monster Garden. That was one of the big ones. And actually, I would say one of the really big ones was it was Monster Garden and Eternal Ruin. And I loved Eternal Ruin. It was such a cool idea. And he's making an RPG at the moment, just as a side note. Which I'm definitely gonna get that on the Kickstarter for sure. But so I saw his I saw his YouTube and I loved his videos, and I was like, man, I wish I could do that. And I was like, I'll just do it. Why not? And I think a really frustrating thing was Instagram, because I couldn't find any traction on Instagram, and I couldn't really stay motivated to keep posting on there. And it's just kind of frustrating, you know. So I stopped Instagram and just started doing like more direct world building videos, related to like a kind of acceleration-esque project. I've actually removed the original introduction video from my YouTube channel. It's still in like my private folder. You don't have a lot of motivation sometimes, or it's like difficult to make yourself motivated to do art. I'd say start world building, but like on YouTube. Hey, where's it gone? Oh, video's gone. Why is it gone? Sorry. There we go. We're back. Sorry about that. Can you see me now? I don't know if you guys... Oh, did it reset? Okay. Let me know if you can... You should be able to see it now, I think. It does this all the time, and then it does like two videos on the like Twitch VOD thing. So yeah, it's one thing I would say to you guys, if you want to like stick to a project and you want to get like make sure that you finish it, world building is a good way to go. I think it's just again, keeps you motivated, keeps you kind of on a single project, and it's just fun. And then you get a community like this with like you guys, who's obviously very supportive and very interested. So I think it's worked out really well. I'm like super happy I decided to do it, for sure. Oh, nice. Coffee Pixel, thank you for joining the Twitch as well. Oh, I've missed a few messages here. Frogs and toads use their sacs to make sounds during the mating season to impress a mate. You can see a frog and a toad using songs in very important cultural events, or when you're trying to impress. Yeah, there's a YouTuber I really like who does animations of animals in like a comedy way, but he does it about like realistic things. And I think one of them is like a guy is like a frog who goes to a bar, like an open mic night, and sings to his like girlfriend, and it's just him croaking on the stage. So like something like that could be fun, like a bard frog who just croaks, and all the frogs love him, but nobody really else understands what he's talking about. Could be a cool one to do. Shrike Wedding would like a horror movie. Yeah, absolutely. I think Shrikes are definitely ones that I've got coming up as a plan. Sawyer Lee, yeah, that's a great one. I'm still going through some of Sawyer Lee's stuff because I realized I didn't actually finish his videos. I've got like a bunch to watch yet, so I'm very excited to still have a lot to go on. But yeah, Sawyer Lee is awesome. He's like a very good storyteller, but he does a lot of I'm looking for Jackdaw. He does a lot of like really realistic animals, and it like thinks up different ways that they could work. And I think he's obviously very good at what he does. But he's a great example of a world building YouTuber. You saw the introduction. Yeah, I think it wasn't bad, but a lot of it, I used to do a lot of 3D art as well on like Unreal Engine and Blender. And I think it's not, it was not the vibe I've got kind of going for this project. So I'm kind of glad I did restart. I think it would have been a completely different project if I'd stuck to the original plan. So it's kind of good to be, I guess, flexible with it. Also, to answer Sidedown, I do write a silly little story. I have a bunch of world building on that. Nice. Oh, my kick is so bad for... Oh, did kick stop? I don't know why kick is so bad for these spam commenters. Very annoying. Anyway. Riffy, no, not yet. Unfortunately, I'm just kind of finished thinking about a continent map today, because I need to decide where to put my new players. And to put it really short, it's really young world, so the nature has enough power to create creatures literally from nothing sometimes. Cool. That sounds really interesting. Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah. You know, once you're quite happy with to share it, I would say feel free to put it in the Discord. You know, it's good to see like a variety of people's different ideas. One thing I would say, Riffy, is a thing that really helped me was like I was saying earlier. You know, just sticking it out there and sticking the I put my introduction up and then kind of built it off the back of that, and yeah, kind of worked out. So best time to be ready is today, and then you can kind of retcon things when if you're not happy with them later on. I think Saidan, you've said about doing that, right? It's like you'll have like an idea and then you'll kind of go back and revise it, or you'll change it, or I think that's a big advantage with, like, I guess writing and illustration you can kind of do it, but definitely with writing is that you can go back and edit your stuff once you've written more, so that it kind of fits together quite well. I made the Orca, not my best work, but I did it. Nice. I'll have to check it out after the stream. Oh gosh, it's 22. Daniel, I'll try to post them when I can. Yeah, definitely. Or if I remember. That's my problem as well, is just forgetting to do it. What is it about? I really like your art style. Feels very immersive. Thank you. Yeah, I tried to... I wish I could do more realistic illustrations, but I tried to use references like as and where I can. So I think I do need to improve in that front, but yeah, I think that's the great thing about kind of illustrating is you can kind of just get better by continuing to draw. So it's a little bit like a parakeet now. So I'll just draw him like this, and then figure the rest out after. The system just allows to create so much different monsters. Nice. That's a good way to do it, I think. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about my system, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. You can kind of be quite flexible with it, with some really horrible, like even like real birds. I think you could, like we said, like the shrike and a few other like animals could be like super gnarly, and they're just real animals. Scarier than fantasy animals. You have things like the shrike, so it's a good way to kind of be inspired to make some really cool different monsters. Right, I'm just going to quickly finish this little sketch, and then I think I might call it a night. Like I said, I'm going to be working on the animation this week, hopefully getting it done as much as possible. I'm absolutely going to cheat. After trying to draw those frames, I really don't think I have the skill to do like a full-blown animation. But I think I could do kind of like a cheaty, like I said, parallax transform style animation that would work quite well with like multiple layers. So hopefully Dreams will help me Procreate Dreams will be able to help me to do that. So, but yeah, it should be fun trying it out and just trying to progress with it a little bit. And my writing a year ago was horrendous. Yeah, I think that's a big advantage with writing. Again, similar to from my perspective with art, I think it's you just keep doing it and it just gets better. I think so. I would imagine it'd be the same, yeah, with your writing as well, Saidan. make his head a little bit darker. There you go. That's a bit more jackdaw-y. I might just do like this, like do some like detailed drawings, and then it can be like a, for example, just block that out. If I do like a really dark background, so like him kind of coming into the light a little bit of the circle. Like that. There's a bit of like heavy shadow. Big shadow here, like that. Oops. And like the cow behind him. And this would be like him moving into the circle. So I guess it'd be a bit of like a transition. Oops. Wasn't working. There we go. So do those two together. And then again, do the same again. Do it as like a little bit grey. Let's go do it with this one as well. Oops, they all in this mega group. Sorry, got in a bit of a zone there. Yeah, Butcher Bird is very interesting. I agree, definitely. It would be a very freaky one to check out. Feels like I'm separated from society here on Twitch. I've added the multi-chat just so, because there was a few other guys who used to use Twitch. So I wanted to make sure everyone could see, because like the YouTube guys can see your comments, but before you couldn't see theirs. So hopefully this makes it a bit easier with the chat on the right. But Laser Grow, I posted it in the Discord. Nice. I'll check that out after I finish the stream. I don't know what Shrike means. Shrike is such a gnarly word, yeah. Oh, like you said, yeah. A Butcher Bird sounds gnarly, yeah. So I think Shrike's like that guy from Warhammer, isn't it? One of the Raven Guard. It's funny when the guy suggested 4 ideas for tanks. I already made them. Should really finish the doc. Right. And then this little dude down here. He's gonna again have a little dark layer. Okay, so it's gonna look like this. It's gonna be like it's gonna be like, if I do it as a animation assist, oops, I do no onions. So oops, I've done them backwards. So it'd be like a really slow transition. Essentially, it'd be like, okay, he's in the back. Too fast. Okay, it'd be like in the back, and he like kind of moves forward slowly, and then comes into the light, like that. and maybe have like a transition so you can see him kind of moving, and then it would move him into this one, and then it would move into this one, and then into this one. And then I'm going to try and do some like really simple, again, like movements from all of the separate parts of the image, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Which is pretty cool. Named after the bird, the guy from 40k. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the guy from 40k. Yeah. Okay. Right. I'm gonna finish the stream there, guys. Went over a little bit, but that was fun. Yeah, good having you all here. Appreciate you guys being here and keeping me company and asking lots of questions. And I'm excited to read about your projects. So Saidan for sure, and Lazy Crow, I'll go check out your art now. And Riffy, definitely if you want to post your stuff there, and Daniel, if you both want to post your stuff in the Discord, which I'm sure a lot of the guys would be really happy to see it and read through it. But yeah, thank you all for being here, guys. I really appreciate you guys being here every week. It's really nice to have this little community. Honestly, it does make a really big difference, and helps me draw. There's lots. So I will see you guys in the Discord or next Wednesday for sure. But yeah, have a good evening or morning or afternoon, wherever you are. So thanks, Rafi, Saidan, Lazy Crow, Daniel, Coffee Pixel. Thank you guys. Really appreciate you all being here. Have I missed anyone? Frederick, yeah, thank you, mate. I think Throndix left a while ago. I don't think I've missed anyone, but yeah, thank you all for being here, guys. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And I'll have to figure out how to animate this a little bit before next time. Right, thanks, guys. All the best. Have a good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon, lunch, dinner, breakfast. Bye-bye.